In less than 30 minutes, the conclusion of our 4-part documentary on the Texas killing fields will stream on KPRC 2+. Tonight, you're going to hear from the man considered a suspect in these murders. KPRC 2 investigates Robert Arnold joining us now from the newsroom. And Robert, I understand you just spoke with one of the past chiefs of police.
Yes, Ron Robleski was League City's police chief from 1983 to 1989. That is the time period 3 of the 4 victims of the so-called killing fields were found. He remembers those cases and the pain it caused in the small community. Do you think League City was prepared or equipped for something of that nature?
No. Not of that complexity.
In the 80s, League City was a small Galveston County town that enjoyed its distance from the big city. That small town bubble was pierced when bodies started showing up in an abandoned oil field off Calder Road. What impact did that have on the town?
It had quite a bit. I mean, it was just a huge shock to the city that, you know, was just a small town. Lions Club Village Fair every year was the biggest thing that was going on.
Ron Robleski left the heavy lifting to his detectives, who theorized the killer was from the area since the bodies were found in a field that was way off the beaten path.
Because of the remoteness of the road, somebody knows that it's there, and it very possibly could be somebody that accesses that area from time to time and has some familiarity with it.
Do you remember the name Clyde Hedrick?
I do.
How do you remember that?
He was one of the early people that Rex developed as a suspect in the case. Of course, we didn't have DNA processing back then, no fingerprints. There just wasn't anything that we had to tie him to it.
Clyde Hedrick remains a suspect in these murders, as does the pain.
It's something that those of us that are still around, that were there at the time that it happened, would like to see, not because we need a feather in our cap, but just to get it solved for the families.
Do you think that's possible at this point?
I hope so.
You'll hear from Clyde Hedrick tonight. He sat down with us. You'll also hear how he became a suspect and why investigators and the district attorney's office say he remains a suspect, even though he's never been charged with the murders of Laura Miller, Heidi Fye, Audrey Cook, and Donna Prudhomme. The conclusion of our 4-part documentary on the Texas killing fields streams at 6:30 on KPRC 2+. Live in the newsroom, Robert Arnold, KPRC 2 News.